Hello. Pratiksha, am I audible?
Yes, mate. Now you're audible.
Sir, good evening. Good afternoon, sir. Hello.
Good afternoon, Ashvik. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. You're audible, sir. Some of the participants are actually joining, sir. We'll start in another 2 minutes, sir.
Yeah, no problem.
Yes.
My slides are visible, right? Ashvik, my slides are visible?
No, sir, not visible.
No, sir. No.
Now?
Yes, sir. Now it is visible, sir.
Ashvik, now it's visible?
Sir, I've actually shared my screen. 1 second.
Yeah, please.
Can you please try sharing it now, sir?
Yeah. Now?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay.
Sir, we'll just start with the introduction now. Can we, sir?
Yeah, please go ahead.
1 minute, one second, sir. Meghana, kindly start, please.
Sir, requesting you to share the screen.
It's been already shared?
No, sir, Ashvik sir needs to share a screen.
Is it?
One second.
Good afternoon,
Meghana.
everyone. Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Meghna, Program Executive at AIC CCRI SDC, and I warmly welcome all the participants to today's session under our Thought Cafe webinar series. AIC CCRI CED, Atal Incubation Center, Central Coffee Research Institute, Center for Entrepreneurship Development is a technology business incubator established at the Coffee Board's head office in Bengaluru in collaboration with the Central Coffee Research Institute and Atal Innovation Mission with a focus on supporting and nurturing startups in the coffee sector. As part of this initiative, the Thought Cafe webinar series aims to bring together experts and stakeholders to deliberate on timely and relevant topics impacting the coffee ecosystem. In this context, today's topic, Impact of the West Asia Crisis on Coffee Exports, Challenges and Government Facilitative Measures, is highly relevant. The ongoing crisis has significant implications for global trade flows, directly affecting coffee exports through disruptions in logistics, pricing, and market access. Understanding these challenges, along with the government's facilitative measures, is crucial for stakeholders to navigate uncertainties and sustain the growth of the coffee sector in this evolving global scenario. We are honored to have with us Dr. Pradeepa Babu, BN, who is currently serving as Deputy Director, Research at the Coffee Board, Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Government of India. He holds a PhD in economics along with postgraduate degree in agricultural economics and MA in economics. With over a decade of experience in research, policy, and the coffee sector, he has made significant contributions in areas such as coffee value chains, market analysis, and sustainability. He has authored numerous research publications in reputed national and international journals and has been actively involved in strengthening the Indian coffee ecosystem. He is also one of the key members involved in designing the Vikrayam export training program at AIC CCRI CED for aspiring coffee exporters, which is an important initiative aimed at building export capabilities within the coffee sector. We are delighted to have him with us today as our resource person as we look forward to an insightful session. Thank you. We welcome you, sir. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Monica. So, I need to share, I think. Ashvik,
Yes, sir, please.
you have to stop sharing, right?
Yes, sir. You can start
Yes.
sharing, sir, please.
No, I think you have to stop. Otherwise, I already
No,
shared.
it's already been stopped, sir.
Stopped. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Small. Ashwik, it says so we are unable to share your screen at the moment. Try downloading our desktop application.
1 second, sir. Can you please try now, sir?
No, again, it says same thing.
1 second. Yes, sir. You can try now, sir, please. Yes, sir. It is visible, sir.
Okay, and the slides are moving?
Yes, sir. It is.
Okay, thank you. So, good afternoon, all. Myself, Dr. Pradeepa. I think you already got the introduction from AIC. So, we'll directly move to understand the impact of the West Asia crisis on coffee exports, challenges and government facilitative measures, and challenges you are already, if you are an exporter, you are already experiencing it. And the government facilitative measures during the last week, the Coffee Board in detail, we have explained during the coffee exporters meeting, whatever the government initiatives taken to facilitate the coffee exports to West Asia. So we'll understand how the coffee exports are impacted by West Asia crisis. So these are the basic statistics. Before getting into in detail, we need to understand how the global coffee market works, and these are the major coffee producing countries, the top 10 coffee producing countries. And if we take Brazil and Vietnam, they are having a lion's share in the total production, about 55%, and India's share is about 3.5%. And if you take these 10 countries, which accounts for about 90% of the total coffee production, so we say nearly 55 coffee producing countries. And even the ICO, International Coffee Organization, nodal organization at the international level, mentioned that there are 55 significant coffee producing countries. But if you see, the top 10 countries accounts for about 90% of the production, and it's the market is more concentrated. And out of this, India's share is about 3.5% in the total coffee production. And similar to the production, export market is also more concentrated, and India's share is relatively better, 5%. You may have a question, this guy don't know basic maths, and the production he says 3.5%, and exports he says 5%. So there is a contribution of re-exports. We import coffees from the cheaper origin, we do the value addition, and we re-export. It's not only in coffee, and it happens in the other agriculture commodities like pepper, cashew, and even the crude oil. We import a lot of crude oil, and we do the value addition in the country, and we re-export it. As you all know, the last week the government has announced an export restriction on petroleum products. We are one of the largest importer of crude oil, and we are one of the largest exporter of the petroleum products in the country. So this is mainly for the value addition in the domestic market, because India is a populous country. One of the objective of the government is providing the employment to the population in the country. And the second part is the value addition is encouraged to boost the value added coffee exports. So the unit value realization, when we export the value added commodities, the unit value realization is higher than the bulk commodity exports. These are the twin objectives. and it is allowed for the import only for the value addition and re-exports. The DGFT will completely monitor this process, and these imports is allowed only for the SEZs, advanced authorization units, and export oriented units, and not tariff zones. And these units are treated as a trade hubs, and only these units are allowed at the 0% import duty, and these imports are completely monitored. And instant coffee is one of the major segment in this, and India is one of the largest manufacturer and exporter of instant coffee in the world. That is the reason India's export share is 5% in the total coffee exports. I have taken only these data among the coffee producing countries. I have not taken the importing countries. Of course, European Union is one of the major hub for the manufacturing of value-added coffees and also the re-exports. But I have taken this, I have compared the data among the coffee producing countries. So when it comes to imports, if you see the exports and production, the market is more concentrated. 90% is accounted by only 10 countries. But if you see the imports, the market is more diversified. So these are the top 10 countries, and European Union, the 27 countries bloc, accounts for about 30% of the global coffee imports. And the United States of America is the single largest importer of coffee in the world, with a share of about 12% in the total global coffee imports. So these 10 countries account for about 44% of the global coffee imports. And EU is the major market. And when it comes to green coffee, these are the top 10 countries. Again, the EU is the largest market, 27 countries block. And when you take the single country, the USA is the single largest importer of coffee in the world. And also the RNG coffee, again, EU is the major hub for the value-added coffee exports. Again, it imports a lot of roast and ground coffee, and it accounts for about 37% of the global RNG coffee trade. And followed by France and USA. These are the major markets for the RNG coffee exports, and these are the top 10 top 10 countries which imports RNG coffee. And the top 10 soluble coffee importing countries. So the European Union, again, is having a good share, 24% of the total soluble coffee trade, which accounts for about 20%.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Ashwik, anything? Okay. So if you see the import side, the market is more diversified. So what I mean is the export, if you take the export market and the producing countries, the market is more concentrated. 90% of the coffee comes from the top 10 countries, but the import is more diversified. The import market is more diversified. So when it comes to, if you see all these tables, you can't find a single West Asian country in the top 10 this thing. So now we will understand what is the coffee imports in West Asia. So GCC countries, Gulf Cooperation Council countries, these are the major market for the coffee, and which accounts for about 3 lakh tons of coffee imports. The GCC countries imports about 3 lakh tons of coffee. And the Saudi Arabia is the largest importer of coffee among the GCC countries. And if you take entire West Asia, the Turkey is the largest importer of coffee. In 2024, if you see, nearly 1.5 lakh tons of coffee is imported by Turkey. And in the GCC, if you take the GCC countries' contribution in the imports, about 1.76% of the global coffee is imported by the global coffee trade. Is imported by GCC countries. And if you take entire West Asian market, including Turkey, Iran, Israel, and Jordan, about 3.7% of the global coffee is imported by these countries. Okay, so this is the importance of West Asian market when it comes to coffee. So what the import, the composition of West Asia coffee imports. So the 55% of the West Asian countries imports is the green coffee. And when it comes to the soluble coffee, it is 43% of their total coffee imports. If you see in the previous slides, about 6 lakh tons of coffee is imported by the West Asian countries, which is about 3.7% of the global coffee imports, of which 55% is the green coffee and 43% is a soluble coffee, and the roast and ground coffee share is very minimal. It is 1.41%. So now we understood the global scenario. So in the global scenario, the import market is more diversified. Okay, and when it comes to West Asia's contribution in the global coffee trade is about 3.7%. And we'll understand how the Indian coffee sector is. And you know that the major coffee producing states in the country are Karnataka, Kerala, and Tamil Nadu. These states account for about 70% of the area and 96% of the production, and the rest non-traditional areas, Andhra Pradesh, Odisha, and northeastern region, the seven sister states, which accounts for about 30% of the area and 4% of the total country's production. And we have the area of 4.91 lakh hectare and holdings about 4.41 lakh, and of which 99% are the small holdings. And the production, the post-blossom estimate is 4.4 lakh metric tons for the financial year 25-26. And exports, we have achieved the record exports of 4 lakh metric tons during 25-26, which includes re-exports. And exports earning also is a record exports. We crossed 2 billion, and about 2 million people employed directly and indirectly in the coffee sector. So India's coffee exports performance and the production. The production, if you see from the 21-22, the production is increasing consistently from 3.42 lakh tons to now we estimated nearly 4 lakh tons. It's a post-blossom estimate. We yet to finalize the final estimate for 26-27. And if you see the exports is consistently is increasing, and we have reached 4 lakh. We crossed 4 lakh tons, and these exports are the record exports in the history, in the Indian coffee exports history, including the value and the quantity. And if you see the value-added segment, the value-added mainly instant coffee, which accounts for about 39% of the India's total coffee exports. And the major destinations for Indian coffee exports, and these are the top 15 destinations, which accounts for about 70% of the India's total coffee exports. And among these top 15, if you see the West Asian market, only UAE and Kuwait, which accounts for about total 7%, 6 to 7% of India's total coffee exports. And these are the top 15 markets for the Indian coffee exports, which account for about 70% of India's total coffee exports. Among the top 15, only UAE and Kuwait are listed, and together having the 7%. It is in terms of value. So then, which are the major markets for Indian coffee? As I mentioned, the global imports is mainly the 30% of the imports will go to European Union. 30% of the coffee will go to European Union. So similarly, the major destination for India's coffee exports is also European Union. The 27 countries accounts for about 46% of India's total coffee exports. And if you take green coffee, 60% of India's green coffee will go to European Union and 10% of the RNG coffee. And if you take Europe, 45 countries accounts for about 55% of the India's total coffee exports. Okay, I will come to the West Asia share in India's total coffee exports in the next slides. So if you see the importance of the markets, the type-wise coffee, the Arabica cherry. So on an average, we are exporting about 12,500 metric tons of coffee. So these are the top 10 destinations for Arabica cherry. So in this, Saudi Arabia is one of the major markets for the Arabica cherry. So among the West Asian countries, the Saudi Arabia is one of the major markets for the Arabica cherry, which accounts for about 2.26% of the India's total Arabica cherry exports. So during 25-26, we exported 12,564 tons of Arabica cherry, of which only 284 tons of Arabica cherry is imported by Saudi Arabia. If you take these top 10 countries again, which accounts for about 88% of India's total coffee exports. So if you see the export market, so the top 10 countries, the market is more concentrated here. And when it comes to Arabica parchment, and we exported about 39,000 tons of coffee, Arabica parchment coffee during financial year 25-26, of which these 10 countries accounts for about 81% of our total Arabica parchment exports. And when you take the West Asian countries like Kuwait and even the Jordan, sorry, I missed this also fall under this. Kuwait and UAE, Saudi Arabia, these are the markets. So the West Asian market is one of the major destinations for Indian Arabica parchment. Okay, so and when it comes to Robusta parchment, not much importance, the West Asian countries. So Arabica, the West Asian countries mainly imports Arabica coffee. With this, you can understand that with these two slides. Okay, so Robusta parchment is mainly imported by European Union. These are the top 10 countries, and these top 10 countries accounts for about 93% of India's total Robusta parchment exports. And on an average, I mean, we are exporting about 25,000 tons of Robusta parchment. And these are the top 20 coffee export destinations for Robusta cherry. And there is a relevance here, though West Asia accounts for about significant, I mean, if you see the United Arab Emirates accounts for about 6% of our Robusta cherry exports. So on an average, this is a major major chunk in India's total coffee exports, Robusta cherry. About 1.7 lakh tons of coffee, whatever we exported, total 4 lakh metric tons, of which 1.7 lakh tons is Robusta cherry exports. And the West Asian market is a major market for Robusta cherry. So Robusta parchment and Robusta cherry is the major chunk of our exports, major chunk in our total exports to West Asian market. And when it comes to instant coffee, the Turkey and UAE are the major importers of Indian instant coffee. We have exported about 1,58,000 tons of instant coffee during the financial year 25-26. These are the major destinations, and these top 20 countries accounts for about 75% of India's total instant coffee exports. So RNG coffee, again, UAE, Qatar and Oman have a significant importance. But these are the top 10 countries for the RNG coffee, and 83% of our total RNG coffee. We exported about 536 tons of RNG coffee during the financial year 25-26. And these 10 countries accounts for about 83%. And if you see from these slides, the previous slides, so we have except Arabica cherry, in all the segments, the West Asian market have a substantial this one imports. I mean, they are importing substantially from India. And when it comes to India's coffee exports to West Asia, so this is the comparison between the financial year 24-25 and 25-26. If you see overall, there is an increase of 8.57% during financial year 25-26 compared to 24-25. Okay, so there is an increase, but only if you notice the Turkey, there is a decline because maybe due to the geopolitical tensions. But Saudi Arabia, there is an overall decline in their imports, and that may be the reason for the decline in the imports from India. But if you see the overall during the financial year 25-26, the coffee exports to this West Asian countries have increased by 8.57% compared to financial year 24-25. So what is the composition, which we already discussed, and in the previous slides, I compared among the top 10 countries, the importance of West Asian market in each category of our exports. And if you take India's coffee exports, 63% of our coffee, whatever the coffee is, goes to West Asia is green coffee, and 36% is soluble coffee. And the roast and ground coffee segment is, of course, we are exporting very minimal quantities, about 500 tons of coffee we exported during 25-26. And the West Asian markets account for about 0.11% of our total RNG coffee exports. So if you see, the green coffee is the major chunk in our total coffee exports to West Asian market. So this is the comparison after the crisis. What is the impact. So there is a sudden sharp decline of 47% compared to the March 2025. During March 2026, we exported just 3,516 tons of coffee, while in March 2025, we exported about 6,648 tons of coffee. So there is a decline of 47%. So there is an impact on Indian coffee sector due to this West Asian crisis. So, so there is a decline in the West Asian market, but if you take overall coffee exports during March 2026, it has been increased compared to March 2025. But where it has increased, so there is an increase of 3,158 tons of coffee, and here if you see the Italy, Libya, Indonesia, so this is, I just want to say that the market is more diversified, as I informed in my previous slides also. If you take the global imports are more diversified, though production and exports are concentrated towards 10 major producing countries, but when it comes to imports, the market is more diversified. Similarly, the Indian coffee is exported to more than 125 countries, though we have a low share of 3.5%, but our exports are more diversified. So here, if you see, though there is a decline of 47% during the March 2026 compared to March 2025, but the overall exports, if you see, there is an increase of 3,158 tons, and mainly the increase you can see in Italy and these markets, so which are listed here. So I just wanted to say that the market is more diversified. If there is a impact in one area, so there is a demand for Indian coffee, and it is generally we hear from exporters also there is a huge demand for Indian coffee. However, the coffee production is not sufficient. The existing production is not sufficient to meet the international demand. So impact of West Asia crisis on global coffee sector. So when it comes to the March month, if you might have seen the high volatility in prices. So there is a increase of price about 2.3%. So the ICO report, March International Coffee Organization report, says that ICO publishes the composite indicator prices. So there is an increase of 2.3%, which is mainly attributed to Middle East conflict. So and the volatility is very high during the, if you see the price volatility, I will explain in the next slide. So volatility is very high in the month of March, which is mainly due to the West Asia crisis. And disruption in the global shipping routes, the closure and restrictions in the Strait of Hormuz significantly affected the global coffee trade logistics, which increases the cost of transportation the coffee globally, which has affected both exporters and importers. And we are expecting there may be there may be an impact on the fertilizer cost also for the next season 26-27 production cycle. So as of now, we have not received any major concerns related to this, but we are expecting that due to since this Strait of Hormuz is it's a major it has a critical role in for the global fertilizer trade, so it will have an impact on the input cost as well for the production cycle 26-27. So this is most this thing. So coffee market reaction and volatility. If you see the, I think the blockade is started in March 4th, and within the 5 days the market has reacted and it has climbed. The ICO composite indicator prices have climbed to 278. 0.77 US cents per LB. So there is an increase of 4.3% in just 5 trading days. Okay, so which is mainly attributed to the increase in the crude oil prices and this bunker fuel, the shipment costs. So the bunker fuel costs and spike in container freight rate. So these are even the insurance premiums were also high during that time. So maybe these are the factors which caused the price increase during the first 5 days. Okay, so immediately see after, if you see even in the graph, if you see the 9th March, by 9th March, it has reached the peak. After that, it is declining. So what is the reason for this decline? So on 10 to 11 March, so there are few reports, that is Marex Group, commodity brokerage, which released the projection. So the record crop in Brazil, so which is estimated about 7.59 million bags. And one more, Sucafina is a coffee trading company, which is also estimated at 75.4 million bags. It is a near about 45. If you see my previous slides, the Brazil production is about 36 to 37 lakh tons. And based on this figures, they're estimating the 25, 26, 26 to 27 production is at near more than 43 to 44 lakh tons of coffee from the Brazil. So which is one of the reason. And also the Ruba Bank, a bank specialized in financing the agriculture sector. So which is forecasted for 26-27, the surplus of 8.64 million bags. If you see the previous years, there was a deficit of when you compare the demand and supply, there was a deficit, and now this time this Bank estimated a surplus production 8.64 million bags. So this is the main reason for the volatility of the prices. Okay, so earlier the prices have gone up to the maximum, that is 278.77 US cents per LB. Okay, so this is mainly because of the increase in the crude oil price, freight cost, and high insurance cost. And again, there is a decline due to the reports, the estimated reports, and the global. It is estimated that the record crop in Brazil and also the surplus production for the year, the coffee production year 26-27. And again, on March 12th, the World Economic Forum warned that whatever the war crisis, it will have a war is happening. This will have a cascading economic fallout in the commodity markets. So immediately on March 13th, the ICO composite indicator price is hit at the lowest level, 265.50 US cents per LB. So this is the main reason for the volatility of the prices. Why I am explaining this, I'm getting so many calls by whether the prices will go up or prices will come down. These are the questions I get from the farmers and also from the other traders, but we are not sure what will happen in the future, but this is the situation happened in the month of March. Due to this, mainly the prices have fluctuated, and the prices are highly were highly volatile in the month of March, I know, but these are the reasons. So we cannot estimate what happens in the future, but this is the situation as of now. So what is the impact of West Asia crisis on Indian coffee sector? So we had a series of meetings with the exporters, and based on the meetings, we have received this data, and the freight cost surged from USD 800 to USD 4,200 per container. Some specific cases, even it has gone up to US dollar 6,000 per container. And there is an additional war risk surcharges up to USD 3,800 TEU, and inland trucking cost up to 5,000 per TEU. This is 20-foot equivalent, this one, TEU contain capacity. And the container shortages, and there is a disturbance there is a shortage of containers and the vessels, and higher insurance cost and working capital stress due to the delayed payment. The exporters are facing the problem of working capital stress, and also higher inventory and rising logistic costs. These are the issues in the short term we have listed out based on the issues reported by the exporters. The main problem is there is a demand contraction and temporary halt in new export orders, especially from Iran and Israel. And there is a demand contraction in the GCC countries. And input cost, mainly the LPG, which is required for the roasting industry, and also some extent in the instant coffee manufacturing. And you have seen in my previous slide, 39% of India's total coffee exports is instant coffee, and the packaging material is one of the constraints in the instant coffee industry. So these are the short term and the medium term. So these challenges: the sustained high freight and insurance cost, may impact the export competitiveness compared to the other producing countries like Africa. And the continued supply chain disruptions, which may cause the rerouting and the port congestion, increased cost of cultivation, which is, I mean, we are expecting due to the maybe the fertilizer costs may go up, and even the pesticide costs also, agrochemicals cost also may go up, and we may lose the market some extent in the West Asia, which is a stable market for Indian coffee exports, and buyers may move to the alternative sources where the disturbance is not there in the shipping routes. Okay, like Africa, they're not mainly depending on this Strait of Hormuz, and they have a logistic advantage also. And long-term impact, the loss of this already informed, and increased dependence on alternative markets. We need to have increase, as I said in my previous slides, though there is a decline in the exports in West Asia, however, we can see the improvement in the exports in other areas like Indonesia and Italy and these countries. The long-term cost escalation affecting the profitability of the coffee exporters will have a cascading effect in the next cycle of exports. And potential impact on employment, especially in the value-added segment. So these are the long-term challenges. And what are the measures taken by the government to facilitate these crises? So this RBI issued a trade relief measures direction in March 31st, 2026 to address these disruptions. And we have given the source here, and this PPT, I think my colleagues at AIC, they will share with you. The exporters can avail the credit period up to 450 days for pre-shipment credit and also the post-shipment credit. Earlier, it was up to 270 days. Now, due to the working capital crisis with the exporters, they can avail the enhanced credit period up to 450 days. So they will have a prolonged extended repayment period based on this notification. This facility is available up to 30th June 2026. It may extend it based on the situation. So trade relief measures, resilience and logistic intervention for the export facilitation. So the targeted crisis support, the government approved the intervention to address the freight charge. These are the things, the freight surge and insurance premium, which I already explained, up to 100% of the risk coverage for the existing insured shipments, which covers the shipments during 14th Feb to 15th March, and up to 95% of the coverage for upcoming export shipment. So during 16th March to 15th June 2026. And up to 50% of the reimbursement of the freight and insurance cost for the eligible MSME exporters. Cap is 50 lakhs per exporter. So you can visit this website and you can get the additional information. So DGFT also has come up with some measures. The export obligation extended by 3 months. This is mainly useful for the SEZs and export-oriented units. These units will import coffee under the export obligations. So the 3 months has been extended for them, and the second measure is 12,000 euro, which is export obligation discharge certificate, which will help the SEZs and the advanced authorization units to avail the credit and also easy export shipment, because there is an obligation. Once they import the coffee from the other countries, I think there is a 6 months, within the 6 months period, they need to do the value addition and they need to export. Now they extended again the 3 months, and also they discharged all the export obligation certificates, which will help the exporters to get the credit from the bank to unlock the working capital constraint. And they have created a toll-free helpline number also, dedicated West Asia crisis desk, and maybe utilize it to, if you have any issues, you can reach out to this number. Additional operational support by Government of India. So these are they have relaxed the procedure for standard cargo movement and waived port storage and dwell charges, improved port conditions and monitoring, issued advisories on shipping price transparency. So these are the additional measures taken by the government, and the major the important one is the ROTEP benefit, which was there earlier up to 31st March 2026. Now it has been extended up to 2000 up to September. It has been extended, and these are the rate for the DTA units and the advanced authorization or SEZ units. So DTA units are eligible for 1. This is DTA units is domestic units. It is not like SEZs and UAU and advanced authorization units. Okay, so these units are eligible for 1.3% of the FOB value for HS0901, that is green coffee and RNG coffee exports, while 2.9% of the FOB value for the instant coffee exports. And these advanced authorization units, SEZs and export-oriented units, for that, our ROTREP rate is 0.8% of the FOB value for the green coffee and RNG coffee, and 2.9% of the FOB value for the instant coffee exports. So this ROTEP rates has been extended up to 30th September 2026. And if you have any concerns, if the cargo is stuck up somewhere and there is a transshipment issue and these things, you can inform to this email, marking a coffeeexports@gmail.com and marking a coffeeboard@gmail.com and drpbabu.cbd@gov.in. So we will take it up with the ministry and concerned ministry, and we will try to facilitate the exports. Thank you. That's all from my side. If you have any questions, I will take it up now.
Thank you very much, sir. It was very insightful. So dear participants, now we are open for any questions, please. If there is any clarification or if someone is actually facing any issues in the exports, you're most welcome to ask the questions, please.
Hi, sir. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
So what is a pre-shipment credit, sir?
So the pre-shipment credit, okay. So pre-shipment, before the shipment, you may need the working capital, right? To procure the inputs and all. So you can approach the bank based on the contract or the whatever the invoice you have signed with your buyer. So you have to reach out to the bank and they will extend the credit up to 75% to 90%. So it depends on bank. So that is a pre-shipment credit. So wherever, I mean, before getting the RCMC, you have to register with you have to have a current account in the bank which deals with the foreign exchange. Okay. So you have to reach out to that bank and you have to show that these are the proof for your upcoming shipment, and I need a working capital. So based like that, you have to request for the loan. That's a pre-shipment credit before the shipment. Post shipment is after the shipment. You have not realized the payment from the buyer, but you will have all the document, and based on that, they will extend the loan up to 90%. LC will be there, so letter of credit. So that's a different entire procedure is different. I think you can, if you're a new exporter, you can just enroll for the Vikram course so that you will learn all the things how to.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Yeah, please.
Sir, like the US dollar, since the dollar prices are increasing as compared to the Indian rupee, so in the short term and mid term, will the trade will be impacted, because this wasn't mentioned in the impact of the trade.
No, the US dollar versus rupee, so it is benefiting the exporters, right? It is not a negative factor, right?
Right, but will it impact in the trade volumes?
No, I mean it will not have any significant impact on the trade volumes.
All right.
It will boost the exports generally. Whenever the rupee falls against the dollar, it will incentivize the exporters to boost the exports. I mean, whatever the contracts they will have, immediately they will fulfill because they will get more INR. So once they get the dollars, it will not
All right. Understood, sir. Thank you.
Hello. Hi, sir.
please.
This is Yashank here. I'm a planter.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, I wanted to know, do you have any data regarding Excelsa coffee?
No.
Like to which country it is getting exported, in what quantities?
No, we are not capturing like that. We have Arabica, and we are capturing mainly Arabica and Robusta. Excelsa is not a significant. I mean, we don't have a significant share in our export volumes. Excelsa share is very minimal.
Okay.
Okay. Are there any other questions from the participants?
Hello.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Hi, this is Ravi Kaushik from recently onboarded incubation, Simulate Intelligence. Myself and my partner Sunil, we are working on the pricing intelligence and traceability aspect, and we wanted to start adding the data sources into the system. What is the best approach, sir, in terms of starting and some of the benefiting some of the coffee ecosystem?
So the pricing part, what you're working on and what is your objective?
The objective is to enable the sellers, basically the farmers, to be procured at a good, better price than what it is at this point.
That
And
your
also-
traceability platform, whatever you are developing, that is sufficient.
Yeah. So we thought we will be.
You are allowing the farmers to quote the price, right?
It will come both from both ends, from the mandi side as well, and from the farmer side. So we
Where
thought
do you
if there
have
are already.
coffee?
Sorry.
So where do you have mandi in coffee? Coffee is completely liberalized commodity, so you cannot get the APMC prices for coffee.
Okay, so if it is auctioned also, that also we want to include, and
the auction price is the graded coffee, like after the curing.
Okay. So at different stages, we want to capture this and get a holistic view. Is that something?
Yeah, but the coffee board will publish, right, regularly and daily basis in the market report. Those prices, you can take it as an indicator prices.
Okay, so that will be a good starting point, and then.
Yeah. So these are the whatever we publish are the indicator prices.
Okay.
Again, based on the many other factors, the prices will fluctuate. So the buyer and seller will negotiate based on the outturn, market, quality parameters, and other things. So they will negotiate.
Okay. So we'll get started with that then. And then
Yeah.
Okay.
Sir, I have received one question from the participants. They are asking what are the precautions of, especially for the aspiring new exporters who want to get into export. So while signing the new export deals, what is the precautions that they need to take? That is what is their question.
Precautions during this crisis period or in general?
During this uncertain times, maybe
because in my slide it has been covered. ECGC coverage is very much important. The insurance for that product is very much important.
And also a continuation for that question, all of a sudden, if any orders get cancelled suddenly, so what will be the options available for the exporters?
So if it is cancelled suddenly, means they have not shipped, right? If they have not shipped, they have to again look for the alternative buyers. Yeah, if it is not shipped.
Okay, there is one more question in the chat box. Are Indian exporters facing pricing pressure compared to the other coffee producing countries?
So Indian coffees in general, we are getting premiums in the international market compared to other origins, like so except Colombia, Tanzania, and Ethiopia. These are the countries which fetch highest premium origin differentials in the international market. Apart from these three countries are grouped under Colombian miles. Indian Arabica, Krypton, or other wines. So we get good premium in the international market. And Indian Robusta parchment, which fetches highest premium in the international market. So that's the thing. So we don't generally we don't face price pressure. So there is a demand for Indian coffees in the international market, as I mentioned while making a presentation, but we don't have sufficient coffee to export.
Okay. Sir, now since the West Asia crisis is going on, all of a sudden, for those exporters who are actually exporting it to these countries, if they have to find the new buyers or to export it to the other countries, which other country they can choose, sir, or focus
So
on?
that's what in my presentation I have given. That is the reason I have whatever the statistics I have given, rather than focusing on the crisis much. These statistics will help them to understand. I have given the type-wise major markets: Arabica cherry, which are the major top 10 markets; Robusta parchment, which are the major markets. Okay, so there they have to focus. So that is the reason I have given so much data.
Okay.
Even the global level data I have given. So in these countries, they need to focus. If they have Arabica coffee, so I have given top 10 countries for the Indian Arabica coffee, top 10 export destinations for Indian Arabica coffee. So they have to, after getting these details, they need to work on finding a buyer in those countries.
Right. Because all of a sudden, if they have to bind up with other countries, so it might be some difficult, no? So like
Correct, but
to
exports business, it should be a dynamic process, right?
That's right.
Yeah, so they need to work on it.
Right. I think
And Coffee Board is also organizing a lot of virtual buyer sellers meeting. So they should be in touch with the Coffee Board promotion department, and so that it may help them to find a buyer. Recently, we had a virtual meeting with Egypt. In the Indian mission supported it, but they are asking, we are not getting Arabica coffee from India, so they need a coffee in the huge volumes, but we could not able to supply. So that's it. So they need to participate in these meetings so that they could able to.
Okay. In order to participate in those meetings, is there any way that they can get the information, sir, about the conductance of this sort
They
of?
are in the Coffee Entrepreneurs group, right?
Right. Okay.
So WhatsApp group. I think Mr. Vishnu will share all the details every time whenever he is organizing this virtual buyer sellers meet. He will share these details in the WhatsApp groups.
Right, sir. There is one person who has raised the hand. Mr. Appanna?
Yes. Hi.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a question. So again, regarding this, the West Asia crisis and the impacts, sir, can you give me some idea about how EUDR will impact, like the deforestation regulations? Do we foresee that that is going to have a huge impact? I understand that, okay, it's mainly Arabica, which is being imported by those countries anyway. But yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
No, the EUDR is a European Union deforestation regulation. It is nothing to do with the West Asian market. It is the regulation in the European Union, passed by European Union, and there is no connectivity between the West Asian market and the EUDR. So I think Mr. Ashvik will organize one more webinar on the EUDR so that you will understand. Okay. So whatever the coffee we are exporting to European Union, we need to comply with the EUDR requirements. That is, the coffee which is produced after 2020, December 2020, technically the coffee which is produced from 1st January 2021 onwards should not be produced on the deforested land. Yes. That is the basic thing. So if the coffee is produced on the deforested land before 31st December 2020, it will not have any impact. Okay. Yes. So most of our coffee is not produced on deforested land after 2005 or 6 based on the satellite data. So almost all the coffees, based on the data we have, based on the discussion we had with one of the reputed agency which has done the 50 centimeter ground truthing analysis using the satellite data. So they said the entire Indian coffee is UDR compliant.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you. Then I think
But UDR insists each consignment should have a geolocation and polygon of the estate.
correct. Traceability.
Which is only relevant, this regulation is only related to the EU, that is 27 countries.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So I have another question.
Yeah, please.
Are there any new policies or incentives being planned to address this situation?
That government had to come up with the new these things because they are analyzing the present situation. So there are discussions are happening. Maybe the positive results may come. So if the situation continues, the crisis continues, then the government may come up with the new support measures.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Sir, there are two more questions in the chat box. What is 260 cent by LB in case of pricing? Can you please explain?
Yeah,
That
please. That's the thing. So I didn't know that all are new, the budding entrepreneurs.
Yes,
so
they're
this
actually
generally. So the internationally, the coffee traded in the futures markets, I think most of you know. That is, the Arabica coffee is traded in the New York C market. Okay, so and Robusta is traded in Intercontinental Exchange, London. So Intercontinental Exchange, New York for Arabica and Intercontinental Exchange, London for Robusta. So this US cents per LB, generally the unit it is mentioned for the Arabica coffee. That is cents per LB means we call in India paisa, right? So similarly, the US dollar will have a cents. 100 cents is equal to $1. LB is the pound, which is 2.2 kg. That pound is like LB is the pound. So we have to convert that into rupees. Whatever they said the US cents per LB, we need to convert rupees into kg. Maybe I think there is one more this thing webinar is required to understand these prices and other things. So I didn't know that you are all budding entrepreneurs. 0. About 450 grams. I mean, if you convert it into LB. Yes. So that's the conversion factor. So you can Google it, it will give the more details.
Yes, actually, few of them are actually budding entrepreneurs.
Yes. I can understand.
Yes, sir.
Based on their questions, I can understand.
Yes.
So this presentation, I think it will be useful for them because I have given a lot of trade data, which are all the major destinations, and the type wise also I have given. So instead of focusing on West Asian crisis, the West Asian crisis is more relevant for the existing exporters. So for the budding entrepreneurs, this data is very useful. So they can focus on these markets and they can attend the virtual buyer sellers meets organized by the Coffee Board and also the FIO, Federation of Indian Export Organization. They're also organizing many virtual buyer sellers meets, and also Trade Promotion Council of India. They're also organizing virtual buyer sellers meets. So they should be in touch with all these organizations so that they could be able to find the buyers in these markets. And recently, the US CGI consultative, the CGI New York,
Yes.
CGI New York, CGI New York has come up with a US trade facilitation portal. So this they can directly register in this trade facilitation portal and they can display their products. So it will directly connect to the US buyers.
Sir, whether this West Asia crisis can impact on the pricing of the coffee imports by the other countries? Because there might
That's
be.
what I mentioned in my previous slide presentation, right?
Yes.
There is in the month of March, there is a 2.3% of the
Exactly.
impact, which is mainly attributed to West Asian crisis. So while mentioning that volatility, because most of the times I get call from the coffee farmers and
Exactly.
traders. So why these prices are so volatile like that? So I have clearly explained the volatile because of the one is mainly this West Asian crisis, and the other part, it has gone up in the beginning. If you see the March first week up to March 9th, the prices have gone up by 4.5% compared to the previous month. Okay, but later it has come down. So generally there is a speculations from the farmer side and the trader side whether the prices will go up or come down. So this volatility is mainly because of two factors. The first, the prices have gone up. That is mainly caused by the crisis. That's Brent crude oil prices have crossed $100 per barrel, and also the other side, the freight costs have increased and also the insurance costs have increased. So which has resulted in increase in the price. So general increase in the price, which also will have an impact on the importing countries as well, right? So they have to pay more for the exporting countries when there is an increase in the price. And the second part, if you see the prices have come down, it has reached to the lower level. That is mainly because the estimations, the global production estimates, these agencies like Sukafina, Robobank, they have estimated surplus production for the financial year 26-27. I think that I have explained in my slides.
Yes.
Yeah.
So how will the presentation be shared?
So we'll be sharing it via email, sir. Those who have already submitted the registration, we'll be sharing it to them, sir. If someone has not registered, you can reach out to me. I'll be sharing my contact details. You can text me on WhatsApp. So you'll be getting the updates from us.
I think for the coffee export, somebody has explained to them, right? So the RCMC is the mandatory document. So once you have an RCMC, you will have, you are entitled for all the government benefits, right? ROTAP, duty drawback scheme. And also the coffee board will extend the incentives for the green coffee and the value added coffees. So, and also like the recent US trade facilitation portal, the RCMC is the mandatory documents. You need not to invest any other things when you onboard on US trade facilitation portal. They are asking only your RCMC as a verified exporter, like authenticated exporter. So this is recently released by Consulate General of India in New York. So this facility can be utilized.
Sir, how can we find the incentives given for the green coffee beans?
Sorry.
Where can we find the incentives that are given for the green coffee bean?
In the DGFT portal, ROTAP, remission of duties and taxes on exportable products. This is ROTAP from the DGFT website. Even the duty drawback is also from the DGFT website, Director General of Foreign Trade. And whatever the coffee board is extending incentives, we have published in the coffee board website.
Okay. How can we know the current, the pricing for the coffee beans in Karnataka? How much it is getting traded?
As I said, we are publishing in the coffee board website, right? Daily market report. So we are publishing the indicator prices.
Okay.
So that is the indicator prices for you. Again, the coffee prices will vary on different factors, right? At farm gate level.
Okay.
So we are just publishing the indicator prices based on the international prices.
Okay.
Okay. So any more questions? So if there are no more questions, we'll be ending up this session. So first of all, I'd like to thank you very much for accepting our invitation and providing us the insightful details about the ongoing impact of this West Asia crisis that is actually impacting our coffee exports. So thank you very much, sir. Meghana, you can proceed with the vote of thanks, please.
On behalf of AIC CCRI CED, we extend our heartfelt thanks to Dr. Pradeepa Babu, VN, Deputy Director, Research, Coffee Board of India, for the insightful session on the topic Impact of the West Asia Crisis on Coffee Exports, Challenges and Government Facilitative Measures. We truly value your time and efforts in sharing your knowledge with us today. Thank you, sir. A special thanks to all the participants for your active engagement and insightful questions. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.